Within this span of time between now and then, a lot of things occurred that promoted growth. A lot of grief, a lot of hurt, a lot of triumphs, a lot of defeats. One of the most major at the time, I thought it was a big defeat, man, was when I lost my voice. And I literally was not singing for a year. And that was so heartbreaking. Me.
Yeah. What's up, bro? How you doing, man?
What's going on, man? All good over here on the west side.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Gotta have West Coast on, but we got to make it plain, man. Look at my boy full screen. You see what he got on his chest. He got the boys. Yes, sir. He got them boys on his chest. And so we gotta rep the star, baby. So it's that time. Football season is here. I guess we can go and start there, bro. How you feel them boys gonna do this year, man?
And that's a question I avoid every year.
That's why I know you're a real fan. You're a real fan. I like that.
Every year. People who know me know I don't talk football with fanatics. I only talk football with real football people because fanatics talk irrational, and I ain't got time for all this.
That's it. Good stuff.
I'll talk football with you all day, but I ain't getting into all that up the drum.
Yeah.
But with that being said, they have potential.
They do. They do. I like that. A real perspective, and that is kind of a good segue. Just a good feel on what we in for tonight. If you're viewing with us, man, that's coming from a Cali native. So, when I ask Texas natives how the Cowboys gonna do, you know what they say: Super Bowl or bust, baby.
Man, I even find it irritating sometimes.
Yes, I do too. Just please. You are the people that America cannot stand in the sports world.
I'm a California cowboy, Can't help it.
Yeah. Nice. So, man, as we jump into this thing, man, for those less familiar with you, like I said, I've got a chance to know you, but there may be some, who don't know Darron, who don't know you. And so just kind of take a minute, man, and just share with us. Tell us about Darron's experience. What's your origin in music, man?
Man, my origin of music is really George Pendergrass.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Wayburn, not as much Wayburn Dean, but more so George Pendergrass. For those who know, they became my brother, but I was studying Addison Dobie on a name.
Yeah.
Who else? Oh man, Robert Bias Sr.
Yeah.
Because Robert Bias Jr. He had a dad that sing too.
Yep.
Harold, Harold, man. Those were the guys that Andy McNeil, rest his soul, Cash. Those were the guys, man, that I was just like, oh, dude, I got to get a piece.
Yeah.
I want to try to get in with this.
No.
Yeah.
Love it, man. Love it. See, yeah. So you kind of hop into, good segue to the next question, man. You kind of talked about good names, man. You just threw out, and so it leans those to say you're a Southwestern. Hello.
Yes, sir.
What class?
Oh, man, Ryan, bruh. I just talked about this with Johnny Bradshaw yesterday.
Yeah.
I think it'll be our 30th year next year, man.
Really?
So,
Okay.
yeah, so 90, they got to be 94, somewhere around here, 93, 94.
Okay. Yeah, so I was just preaching at Greenville a couple months ago or so. Just sitting down with Brother Bradshaw, man. Y'all don't age, man. Y'all really don't. Yeah, y'all really don't. Y'all don't age, man.
You can't tell that to the rest of my body, brother. They not trying to hear it. They not checking. We was just reminiscing. He was talking about, I made a good choice going on tour with y'all instead of that inflammatory stuff like
that. Yeah.
You did.
Nice. Okay, good stuff, man. Good stuff. So you kind of, those who watching, man, you kind of getting a good feel. You got talking to a Southwestern grad, so that really speaks for itself. I mean, I was talking to one of my classmates, man. Actually not a classmate, somebody who was, I forgot who it was. They were in your area, not really affiliated with Southwestern, and I was like, man, and they were kind of down in the score. I said, man, do you realize that any prominent Church of Christ in our brotherhood has been influenced by someone from Southwestern, whether it be your preacher, whether it be your music minister, whether it be your deacon, your elder? I guarantee if your church is reputable, somebody at that church went to Southwestern.
Somewhere, somehow, they done came through them doors.
Or they know somebody, they closely relate to somebody who went there, man. So you can talk all you want to about JS and Mary Carpenter, but hey, there's some blessings happening in that fine art building.
Hey, them spots built a lot of character.
Yeah. Built a lot of character, shaped and harnessed a lot of voices too, man. Yeah, man. Yeah.
One walls would talk back, huh?
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, bro. Yeah. So let's jump into where you are now. You are in Carson, California. We mentioned you're at the Metropolitan Church of Christ. There under Brother Haygood, good dude, good friend of mine, man. And so let's talk to us about just the music ministry there and just how it's impacted you. You obviously got your influences in your background, man, but now being at Metro, man, how has that ministry impacted you personally?
Personally, man, it has created a continual sense of growth.
No, I don't.
Because I remember from where I started, and praise and worship teams was new.
Yeah.
Back when Metro may be probably the first black congregation within our brotherhood who started, kind of doing it. And so I was brand new.
Yeah.
I didn't have Mark Campbell was my example in Silo, but they weren't a continuous congregation or a team that was performing in congregations. So from there, I had singers, but we weren't necessarily worshipers, including the leader, including yours truly.
Yeah.
Right. And so within this span of time between now and then, a lot of things occurred that promoted growth. A lot of grief, a lot of hurt, a lot of triumphs, a lot of defeats. One of the most major at the time, I thought it was a big defeat, man, was when I lost my voice. And I literally was not singing for a year. And that was so heartbreaking to me.
Yeah.
And I couldn't understand for the life of me why, God would allow something like that to happen with me.
Right.
I've been singing in Southwestern. I've been singing in churches for years. I've been, going to song fest, fellowships, whatever you call them, trying to sing my heart out. But come to find out, it was self-gratitude.
Yeah.
And it took for me to lose my voice, for that to be identified.
Yeah.
And once that became identified, then the team even began to grow even more because I began.
Yeah.
And I can't take the team nowhere. I ain't.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, there's a book out by Dr. Maxwell called The 5 Levels of Leadership. And it says, you know, those who are following you, they're only going to go as high as you take them. You know, so that's a very, very good point. Remind me, it's crazy. I'm like you. My voice is pretty solid as far as like, you know, strength and like just staying intact. Like I've only lost my voice one time. And then one time I was actually in California. It was 2018. I don't know if you remember. We were at EPE in 2018.
Right.
Yeah. So the group that I sang with, The Truth, you know, our male group.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we sang there.
Church of Christ that year.
Yeah. Yep. So we sang that Friday, sang that Saturday, and we sang Sunday. But of course, if I'm in town, Brother Faye had me come through and preach that Sunday. Man, I had a voice. I don't know if you remember, I didn't have no voice. And so like after we sang Saturday, I literally stopped talking just to try to have something, you know, somewhat of a voice. And that was the only time in my life that I preached with no voice. And it was probably one of the most impactful lessons that ever happened, you know. So yeah. So you talk about gratitude, you definitely appreciate it. Similar story with Terry Mays. I remember a while back she lost her voice, and then their doctor told her you need to go on vocal rest. And man, when she came back, man, she could always sing, but yeah, she came out the gates.
I never knew she lost her voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was one time she lost her voice. She came back. She was like Sha'Carri Richardson coming back, man. It was back like she never left. Yeah. So that's good, man. I love hearing that, man, because a lot of times, you know, I was talking to another music minister. People see the end result, and they assume, okay, this person's always been this way, but you don't know the process and what a person has undergone personally, ministerially. You know what I'm saying? You know, to get to that point. You know, it's one of those people think, and it's why I'm doing this. People think, man, it's just a show. You know what I'm saying? He just up there singing or da-da-da. Like, man, you really don't know what goes on behind the scenes that produces this from God, from the Spirit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Yes, sir. We talk about music ministry. It varies, you know, as far as the expression of it. It varies across the board. You kind of hit on a little bit. I mean, you have some churches where it's just a song leader. You have some churches with a song leader in the bass. Worship teams, praise teams, however you want to call them. They've been, I think COVID has really pushed it forward, man. And so, you know, you talked about becoming a worshiper, man. You know, how did you encourage the group to really embrace not only just the spirit and the act of worship, but just to be on the team? Because, you know, if it was new for you, then it would have to be new for them too. So kind of talk to us about that transition at Metro, man. Because, you know, I've been to Cali. Not too many churches have them still to this day. You know what I'm saying? So you guys are one of the few that I know of in Cali who express music through the praise team or worship team format, man. Kind of talk to us about that at Metro.
Well, first, I had no idea. Fate came and got me and took me to an actual solo song. There at the time, Mark was at Normandy, and they would teach songs every Sunday night, at least once or twice a month, every Sunday night.
Yeah.
And so he came and got me and said, I want you to listen to this. At the time, I was just leading songs.
Yeah.
Church of Christ. And I was like, okay, we can do this. All right. And so initially, man, it was built to where I just asked people that would commit. Commit. I couldn't ask them for nothing else because, like I just said before, I wasn't a worshiper nowhere near the way I somewhat consider myself to be closer to being now.
Right.
So there was no way I was asking them to sign up for that, right? I was just
Right.
asking to commit to this ministry, praise and worship ministry. They were able to commit to that because one thing I believe is that faith was definitely out in front of this thing.
Yeah.
Meaning he was a protector. You know, he wasn't going to allow anything of negativity or whatever to attack us in regards to what we were doing. So that allowed us to operate in that space because we knew we were protected, which if I can drop this nugget in there, it's important that your leadership is in sync with your music ministry.
For sure.
Because it starts there. The leadership is able to deflect, they're able to defend, they are able to then build trust from within. Because, you know, they are the shepherd.
Yeah.
So that's where it started. And so the team started with commitment. And commitment, like I said, as I grew, then the team grows.
Yeah.
And we continue to grow up until what you see now, which, you know, we got a lot of older members now, and, you know, we got these, I'm looking across the brother there, we got these teams, and I'm like, ooh, all this young talent. Well, they got some beasts up in his team. Oregon. Man.
Right.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I mean, you mentioned, you know, kind of growing to where you guys are now. Let's talk about that, man. You know, anybody who knows Metro, man, you kind of follow the ministry on social media. It's not just a live stream, it's a whole production. You know what I'm saying? And so just blessed to be with you guys at the Distinctly Conference. And that was just an awesome, we were talking about that off camera, just an awesome experience, man. I just love just the production level of it, man. People underestimate it, but I think it's important when you're talking about staying in step when trying to reach people, man, because it used to be back in the day before COVID and live streaming has always been around, but it really became more of a thing when we couldn't gather, you know, so.
Right.
And so, you know, it's more than just, okay, we're going to have regular church service. Like, you got to think about those who are going to be watching, because it used to be, before all this, your first impression was you greeted at the door. Now it's not your greeting anymore. Now your first impression is your live stream. And what are people seeing, you know? And so talk to us about just the production level, man, and just the work that you guys have really put in. You talked about commitment, and I know it took a great deal of commitment to really embrace even the other side of it, you know, because people in worship or traditionalists, you know, and I say that respectfully, don't like hearing production when it comes to worship.
Cornell does an excellent job in regards to the audio of it. He stays on top of that as much as possible, which is a vital part of singing. You know, there's a lot of churches have what they call speaking microphones instead of microphones that can be sung into.
Right.
And there's a very big difference.
Yeah, drastic difference.
Oh my God, there's a very big difference. And so if you want to take it seriously, then you got to take it serious.
Right.
Period. There is no halfway serious. There's no 75% serious. No, we want to take it serious because whatever goes in that mic don't necessarily mean that that's what's coming out.
Right.
So Cornell does an excellent job. We have Conroy and Destiny, Faith's daughter, in regards to the video component, and they do an excellent job. And while I say they do an excellent job, prior to COVID, we weren't prepared for that.
Right. Most churches weren't.
Yeah, like other congregations, we were not prepared, and we were forced to learn quickly before the next Sunday.
Right.
Or, you know, and make adjustments as we go. And they've done a great job with it. And what what initially sets that up is faith, the leadership. From the time you enter, we want people to know worship is important.
Yeah.
Worship is vital. Worship is fundamental.
Yep.
We try to make sure that we cover that and instill that all the way from top to bottom. And so when you come in, we want you to get that vibe. We want you to understand. But it's not just we want the older people to get it. We want the young people to get it.
Yeah.
We want the kids to start growing in it and everything. I try to have a song service as much as possible that allows space for the older people to be old, if that's the proper way to say it. Or let me say this, for the seasoned people to be seasoned.
Yeah. I guess so.
For the young adults to have their space, and for the kids younger than that to have their space. And so, because one of the things is this, a lot of times in church we speak of worshiping, like worship doesn't just start at church. It starts at your home, right?
For sure. Yeah.
Throughout the week. Well, if it's been going on throughout the week, your worship should, to a degree, should be no different than when we come together on Sunday.
Right.
And so a lot of times that's how you see how my interaction is with those online and those in the audience. It's just a regular, normal interaction. I'm not going to give you, thus saith the Lord on this today. No, I'm not going to give you that. Because we only interact like that during the week.
Right. Exactly.
So I'm going to give you what we give during the week. Because if I can be real with you during the week, I should also be able to be real with you while we worshiping God together.
That's good. And everyone can't really appreciate that, man. So where it's there's a reverence for God, but there's also a laid back human interaction. It's important, you know what I'm saying? Especially I think in this era, this generation, this dispensation of the church, man, people don't want the fluff no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, it worked for a particular era of the church, but I think in this era, like transparency and genuine, you know, like that genuineness is really, really critical. And like you hit it on a couple times, man, as you know, the music ministry has to be a collaboration with the leadership.
Right.
You know, and oftentimes why you see a lot of churches struggle is because there is a separation, there's a divide between the music ministry and the leadership, and it shouldn't be like that. You know, that there should be harmony between the two. I'm talking with it.
Yes. You go look. If you happen to be, you know, we're available or able to see a lot of services online now. And just go watch. You can kind of see those ministries that are in sync with their leadership.
Yep.
You can just about tell, like, okay, yeah, I don't see nothing going on. You understand?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, and that's not just to say it's just, you know, with dissension, but it's just like there's a lack of relationship, you know what I'm saying? Because you have some, and I appreciate some of the ministers who are seasoned, like you said, who just understand the value of music. You know what I mean? Like, music is not competing with the word, you know what I'm saying? But music in the religious context is also speaking from the word, is just through song, you know what I'm saying? And so it's just knowing that, hey, we're not meant to work apart, but we're meant to work together, you know what I'm saying? I think Ephesians talks about the diversity of gifts and being unified despite the variance between someone's gifts. You know, I said before with another guy, unity is not doing everything the same way. That's not unity. You know what I'm saying? Unity is saying, okay, I have a gift, you have one that's different from mine, but I appreciate your gift and you appreciate mine, and we're using our different gifts for the same purpose. You know what I mean? And a lot of congregations don't understand that, you know? So I like you said, you can look and see those who are collaborating, those who are in harmony together. And it's a beautiful thing to see.
One of the things I like to say in regards to what you said, unity is not the same, right? But it's all attached.
Yeah.
The thumb has a different purpose than the index or the ring finger. And although you got all 5 of them together, you take away that thumb, you can't hold a cup.
Nope. or trying to walk without your pinky toe. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's a small toe, but if you don't have it, if anything get amputated, you realize how important it is, man. So that's dope. That's dope. Love it, man. Lastly, man, this is also a mentorship piece, man. There may be some who are aspiring to be where you are. Like I said, we know this era. Generally speaking, I want to be fair. There are some who get it, but then there are some who are young, and it's more of a results-oriented thing, man. Okay, I see Darron online, and I want to be there. You know what I'm saying? There are some who aspire to do what you do, want to be in your spot, or want to, do what you do, man. And so what's some advice you could give to maybe your colleagues, or even those who are coming up under you that are aspiring to kind of be in that spot, man?
Do not be afraid to ask. Do not be afraid to ask. And don't be afraid to learn.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because had we had more praise and worship teams or available when I was coming up outside of Mark Campbell, then that could have sped up my process of learning, right?
Yeah.
So the same thing, do not be afraid to ask. Some, I don't want to throw no shade on nobody or nothing like that, but if I'm teaching a song and I heard Jason teaching a song or Stephanie Booker teaching a song or something like that, and I wanted to teach it to my team, call Stephanie and ask her.
There you go.
Hey, can you send me, how can we go about you teaching this song to the team?
Yeah.
But what some of us will do, we will instead just try to record it and continue to listen to it.
Yeah.
And then add words as we go.
Yep.
And say, well, that's now the Metro way. Which, go add words, however you choose to do it, but learn it the right way.
Have some integrity.
Yeah. But see, that's just the music part.
Right.
There were certain things about being in front of being a leader that you just need to learn character-wise too. That I had to learn the hard way. I've been married for going on 26 years.
Yeah.
And being in front of church brings attacks of all shapes, sizes, forms, and everything else.
Surely, yeah.
And so those are things that younger leaders need to be alarmed about, alerted for, and taught on how to deal with.
Yeah.
So do not be afraid to ask.
Yeah.
And do not be afraid to learn. That'll probably be the biggest two that I would say.
Yeah. No, that's good. Bro, we definitely appreciate that, man. You blessed us in more ways than one. The first person you blessed was me, man. So I appreciate it. If no one else, got value from this, I know I did. But I just believe someone watching, watching live now, or even those who are on Team Replay, are going to be blessed by just this time that you and I have shared together. Man, again, you bless us, man. Before we let you go, tell us, how can we find you and the ministry and the congregation on social media?
Well, you can find the ministry at Metropolitan Church of Christ. We on Facebook, we're on YouTube. Unlike my boy Malcolm Hines last month, I be on Facebook, dropping jokes and stuff like that. So Darron Jones on Facebook, which is kind of how I want to call him here with this jersey. He had on that title hat. You know what I mean? So people keep this thing going. Who else gonna come in and try to do something sports-wise?
Most definitely.
On me, man, and I'm easy to obtain. Like Deion Sanders said, I ain't hard to find.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to Coach Prime. Keep making them believe in Colorado, baby. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That concludes this episode. Again, if you found value in this content between my bro and I, man, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Don't be afraid to share it, man. This is, believe it or not, it's a ministry. Bless somebody else with this time that my bro and I have shared. We do this every Thursday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Until the next episode, we'll see you then. God bless you. Peace.
Yes, sir.